Could Connor, Arno and Shay have met? Lately, I've been reading many comments on my videos and forums where people discuss this topic for many years, and some of them never even crossed my mind. Fact is, we cannot know for certain unless we do our best to connect all possible lore tidbits which result in a cohesive narrative. That is what I did for my upcoming Assassin's Creed film, which has this story at its core. The most common argument for Connor going to France remains his friendship with Marquis de Lafayette, who we meet in Assassin's Creed 3. I decided to ignore that fact for this film because historically, in 1798 when my film is set, Lafayette was exiled from France and he was in Belgium at the time. So I decided to make a plausible reason for Connor to leave America be your classic unfinished business narrative device, with a twist of course. The French Brotherhood is being systematically dismantled and Arno Dorian is away in Normandy. Close to Paris, closer than Connor for certain, but I decided to put him there while Connor travels to France, so that they might meet on the Normandy coast. Shay being in Paris is not unrealistic at all. At this point, it has been 22 years since we last saw him in Versailles, so I took an amount of creative liberty and placed him in Paris after the French Revolution, during which the Templars were led by Germain, and my headcanon is that Shay orchestrated the entire thing while he was away. But Germain got carried away by his visions of Jacques de Molay, the man he was in a previous life, being a sage. In my mind, Shay wants to use Napoleon to fulfill his strategy. Napoleon would die, allowing Shay to appoint himself de facto leader of France and appoint a puppet so that he can remain behind the scenes. As for Arno, his presence in Paris obviously does not require belief suspension. There is a big misconception regarding Arno and Connor's awareness of what Shay is or what he did, and surprisingly not a lot of liberty has to be taken here. This supposed conflict was never meant to happen, but fans took it to another level and started demanding a game that directly bridges Connor, Arno and Shay. That never happened, so I wanted to make my own version. The major point people make against this is that Connor and Arno never knew, but that is okay. That is why we can imagine possible continuations, which make sense and are consistent with the original stories. Achilles, for example, could have mentioned Shay to Connor, or Benjamin Franklin could have told Connor he was in Versailles with Shay, and Connor could connect the dots. Benjamin Franklin died in 1790, but that doesn't make this instance impossible. Connor was in contact with him. That conversation genuinely could have happened. In my version, Connor knew and deliberately stayed put until 1797 when these disappearances in Paris started happening, and Connor suspected Shay heavily. The biggest argument against Arno wanting to go after Shay is the fact that during Unity he was focused on revenge, and it cost him Elise. Arno grew out of it, and we see that clearly in the DLC. But what makes people think Arno would just want vengeance? 22 years after his father's death, after going through that painful arc in AC Unity, characters grow. He would go after Shay because he's a major threat, and Connor would explain the stakes clearly. Connor wouldn't leave his life in America, peaceful or otherwise, just so he can avenge someone or for the sake of fan service. There is a reason, and the film I'm making will cover it, not in a way you might expect. It is a focused story which covers deeper themes than the common theme people talk about regarding these three characters. A story needs to have emotion, and make sense within the context of the franchise, since it's a fan film, as well as keep consistency with already established narrative beats and growth. This will be an exciting film. I'm hard at work to deliver a great story to everyone, and there are a few surprises on the way.